वीडियो को हिंदी में देखने के लिए डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिए गए लिंक पर क्लिक करें। हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू DTC classes. In this video, we are going to discuss the key concepts, standard symbols, basic terminologies, and standard formulae of the chapter. The most important part of the video is the discussion of the critical area where most students lose their marks. So it would be a good thing if you note those mistakes down and made sure that you did not commit them. GST. GST stands for Goods and Service Tax. Goods and Service Tax is an indirect form of tax, means that it is not directly paid by the person who bears it. It is paid through people. So directly the government does not get the tax. For example, if I am buying a product, I do not give half the price to the shopkeeper and for the other half I go to the government. No. I just pay the whole price to the shopkeeper and it is the responsibility of the shopkeeper to pay the whole pay the tax portion to the government. So we are not discussing tax in depth. This is maths. So basically we need to understand the calculations, how to solve these kind of sums. Before going into that, first let us understand certain terminologies. Intrastate sales. Intrastate sales means the sales which occurs within the boundary of one state. So for an example, the shopkeeper and the consumer are both from the same state or union territory. For an example, suppose Maharashtra or Delhi. So therefore, whenever the shopkeeper is selling it to the consumer in the same state, the consumer pays a certain amount of GST. That GST is called intrastate tax. So intrastate GST is divided into two portions. First is CGST and the other is SGST. CGST stands for Central Goods and Service Tax. That means that this tax collected goes to the central government. While SGST stands for State Goods and Service Tax. And this tax collected goes to the state government. So for an example, if the good was for 1000 rupees and I paid suppose 10% GST, that is 100 rupees. So 50 rupees of the tax will go into CGST and 50 rupees of the tax will go into SGST. 50-50 divided. Next is interstate GST, interstate sales. Basically, whenever the sale is made outside the boundary of one state, that is two or more states or union territories are involved. So, if a person in suppose Kerala is selling goods to person in Punjab, so therefore, whenever the consumer is buying the product, he is paying a certain amount of GST. That GST is called IGST, meaning stands for integrated GST. Integrated GST, the whole amount of IGST goes to the central government. No state government, that is either the Kerala government or the Punjab government gets anything from such kind of transactions. They only get IGST. The only benefit, the whole tax goes to central government, that is IGST. Input tax versus output tax. Whenever a person is buying goods for resale, so whenever he is buying goods to sell the product again, he is paying two types of taxes. One he is paying and another is collecting. So two types of taxes are involved. One is input and other is output. Both are GST. So when I am buying the product, I have to pay the selling price plus tax. That certain amount of tax which I have to pay, I call it my input GST. That simply means whenever I was inputting the good, that is the good was coming into my godown, my shop, then I was paying a certain tax and that tax is called input GST. And the other type of GST that I collect is when I sell this good, I sell it to the consumer pays selling price plus tax. That type of tax that I collect is called output GST. Now it depends if the sale was interstate or intrastate. The taxes may be divided into CGST or SGST or may be combined as IGST. That depends on sums. So let us understand the concept of GST with the help of an easy example. So we are not properly discussing the example. We are just understanding how GST works. So you need to understand the basic concept of indirect tax, that is GST. So if A sold an article to B, who resold the article to C. So if I am assuming that A sold the article to B at a price of rupees 1000 and I am assuming the GST rate is 10%. for easy calculation because 10% is very orally calculatable. So, if the selling price for A is 1000 rupees, then the cost price for B will obviously be 1000 rupees plus tax. Logical. So, B will always obviously have to pay tax. So, B does not pay only rupees 1000. He pays cost price, that is rupees 1000 plus tax. Whenever we write cost price or selling price, it is assumed that it is exclusive of tax. So, whenever you have to write that a certain price includes tax, you always have to mention it. Selling price including tax, amount of price which the consumer pays including tax. So, if you do not mention including tax, it is assumed that it is exclusive of tax. So, if A has sold the goods to B, B will pay rupees 1000 plus tax. This tax is input tax for B because B has paid this tax while purchasing the goods. So, input tax for B will be 10% of 1000, that is 100 rupees. So, B paid rupees 100 to A. Now, it is the responsibility of A to pay this tax to the government. So, A will pay rupees 100 to the government. Why does A pay the whole amount of tax? Because tax is government's responsibility. So, it's the government's pleasure. So, government has to get the tax. So, I am obviously assuming that A has never paid any more tax on this product. That is, A has not purchased the product from someone else. A has only made the product out of scratch. Or to say that the cost price of A for the article is 0. So, the cost price for the article is 0 for A. So, therefore, basically he has developed the whole product. So, there was no cost price involved. So, if there was no cost price involved, there was no input tax for A. So, A has not paid a penny to the government. So, therefore, he has to pay the whole rupees 100 to the government. So, the government receives GST received from A, that is rupees 100. We are obviously not going into depths of if the sale was interstate or intrastate. The government will get CGST or SGST or IGST. No. Even if the taxes are divided, state government will get rupees 50 and central government will get rupees 50. Total tax will still be rupees 100. So, therefore, we are just concerned right now with the total tax. We are not going into depth if the individual taxes are divided or not divided, integrated or not integrated. Now, B sells the same product to C at a profit of rupees 500. So, therefore, the selling price for B is rupees 1500. That is same as the cost price for C. C pays rupees 1500 as cost price for the article plus he pays tax. This type of tax for B is output tax because while he was outputting the product, that is selling the product, he received this tax. So, he received 10% of 1500, that is 150 rupees. Now, I was saying that we will assume that the cost price of A cost price for the article for A will be 0. Why was I assuming that? Because if A had paid certain amount of tax previously, then A would obviously tell the government that, look, I had paid you this amount of tax, now I have collected 100 rupees. I should not be paying tax because I am a bypasser. I just pass the product. So, ultimate bearer of the tax is the consumer. So, whatever tax he pays, that only you should get. So, therefore, I will deduct my tax and pay you the rest. But since there is no information given about A, we will have to assume that A did not pay any input tax. But B did. Since B collected 150 rupees from A, C, he divided this 150 rupees into two parts. That is, one part is rupees 100 and the other part is rupees 50. What did he do with these two parts? He told the government that, look, I have already paid rupees 100 to Mr. A and you collect that rupees 100 from Mr. A. I am not responsible for that. What I am responsible is I have collected 150 rupees, out of which 100 rupees was previously paid out of my pockets. So, I am deducting that 100 rupees and I will pay you the remaining 50 rupees as GST. So, government received rupees 50 from B. So, therefore, the total tax received by either of the governments is rupees 150. That is the total amount that the consumer paid, that Mr. C paid. Mr. C paid rupees 150 to B, and ultimately after dividing a series of steps, the government actually got rupees 150. That is the maximum. Now, if I have to ask who is the main person here, obviously B, because he was in the middle, he paid input tax, he paid output tax. So the main question would be, what amount of tax did B pay to the government? Because he paid some part to A and he collected some part from B. If the collection is more than the payment, he will pay the remaining amount to the government. So therefore, GST paid at any time will always be equal to output tax, that is output GST, minus input GST. So do remember this formula. Whenever you are considering that Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. X, Mr. Y, whoever it is, has paid certain amount of tax to the government, you have to consider how much has he collected the tax and how much has he already paid. You just need to subtract his output tax from his input tax, input tax from his output tax, and then the remaining portion he has to pay to the government. Generally, we assume that the person is making profits because for easiness. But if a person is making loss, then obviously his output tax will be less than input tax, and then he will call for refunds. But that part is not in our syllabus. We do not have to bother ourselves with that part. The printed price of an article is rupees 60,000. The manufacturer allows a discount of 25% to a dealer A. The dealer sells the article to another dealer B at a discount of 12% on the mark price. The dealer B sells it to a consumer at 5% above the printed price. If all the sales are intrastate and the rate of GST is 18%, find part 1. The price of the article inclusive of tax under GST paid by dealer A. Part 2. The price of the article inclusive of tax under GST paid by dealer B. Part 3. The amount which the consumer pays for the article. Part 4. The amount of tax under GST paid by dealer A to the central government. Part 5. The amount of tax under GST paid by dealer B to the state government. Part 6. The amount of tax under GST received by the central government. As it is given in the question that all sales are intrastate, so the first statement that I will memorize and write it on the answer sheet will be, all sales are intrastate and rate of GST is, that is given in the question, 18%. So therefore, CGST at the rate 9% and SGST at the rate 9% is levied. You just memorize this part and just copy it down in your answer script. So you always have to remember, whenever the sale is intrastate, the GST gets divided into two parts. CGST, SGST, both are half of equally of each other. So now my best policy is, once I have read the paragraph of the question, I have not looked much into the subparts. I have not seen what specific questions they have asked. I will calculate in the information according to me. And then finally, I'll just write down the answers, what they have asked. So I'll calculate everything according to me. Since the manufacturer has sold the goods to Mr. A, dealer A has sold the goods to dealer B, and dealer B has sold the goods to consumer. We obviously assume that manufacturer's CP is 0 and the selling price of consumer is 0 because he's not going to sell it. So therefore, what we have to calculate is, calculate the CP, SP, input and output, CGST and SGST of every person. So manufacturer's CP is 0. Do not consider. So therefore, input GST is also out of consideration. Now I am focusing on selling price of the manufacturer. It is given in the question paper that the mark price of the article is 60,000. So therefore, selling price of the article is 60,000 minus 25% of 60,000. So therefore, that is 60,000 minus 15,000. That is 45,000. You can show the calculation of 25% of 60,000 or you can skip it. Depends on you. It's always best to show a few more steps. But you may always skip it since it's a calculation part. You can skip it. So now I'll do everything for the dealer. For the dealer, CP, input CGST, output CGST, SP output CGST, output CGST, output SGST. For dealer B, CP input CGST, input SGST, SP output CGST, output SGST. These are my major requirements. I will calculate them and then I'll see which question has asked what, and I'll simply have to add certain stuff. Always remember, these are always required. It will not happen that in a question paper you do not require an output GST for a certain person. No, you will be required. So therefore, even if you blindly calculate what you should be calculating according to the question, it's all okay. So for dealer, the cost price will be obviously be same as the selling price for the manufacturer. So therefore, cost price is for rupees 45,000. Input CGST will always be equal to input SGST, which will be 9% of 45,000. So that is 9 by 100 into 45,000. That is rupees 4,050. You can obviously split them. You can calculate input CGST first and then show that output CGST is rupees 4050. That is also okay. Some books have shown it. You can also write this is equal to this is equal to this. This is also completely fine. So no problem there. So now the dealer A sells the same article to dealer B by giving a 12% discount on the mark price. So therefore, selling price of the article for dealer A, that I have written on the heading. So therefore, everything we are discussing is for dealer A. So for dealer A, selling price is 60,000 minus 12% of 60,000. That would be 60,000 minus 7,200. That is 52,800 rupees. So therefore, output CGST will be equal to output SGST will be equal to 9% of 52,800. That will be rupees 4,752. Obviously, for dealer B, the cost price will be same as the selling price for dealer A. Since at the price at which I sell is the price at which you buy, there cannot be anything else. So, dealer B, the cost price for dealer B is rupees 52,800. Therefore, the input CGST and SGST will be same for dealer B as the output CGST and SGST for dealer A. Because if I pay the tax, you get the tax. That is the logic. So therefore, that will be equal to rupees 4752. You do not have to write anything, any calculation, etc. Selling price. The dealer B sells the article to the consumer, and he gets it. He sells the article at rupees 60,000 plus 5% extra. So 60,000 plus 5% of 60,000. That will be 60,000 plus 3,000, that is 63,000. So, therefore, output CGST will be equal to output SGST will equals to 9% of 63,000. So, 9% of 63,000 is rupees 5,670. So, therefore, output CGST and output SGST will be 5,670. And obviously, the cost price that for the article for the consumer will be same as the selling price for the article of the article for dealer B. So therefore, 63,000 will be the cost price for the consumer. Obviously, whenever I am writing selling price and cost price, I have assumed they are all exclusive of taxes. Whenever we will write inclusive of tax, we want the price to be including taxes, we will have to write that the cost price of the article for the consumer inclusive of tax under GST is equal to this much. So now we'll look into the questions and see what they have asked, and then we'll just simply use these values to calculate those answers. So the first part of the question asks the price of the article inclusive of tax under GST paid by dealer A. So dealer A paid two amounts basically. So the first amount was the cost price that the dealer paid for the article, and the second was the GST paid by the dealer. So GST is including both CGST and SGST. So therefore, cost price was 45,000 plus input CGST of dealer, that is 4050, plus input SGST of the dealer, that is 4050. So therefore, the total amount the dealer paid is 53,100. The second part asks the price of the article inclusive of tax under GST paid by dealer B. So same thing. So the dealer B paid the cost price of the article plus the input CGST plus the input SGST. So therefore 52,800 plus 4752 plus 4752, that is 62,304. Third question asks the amount which the consumer pays for the article. The consumer pays, that is cost price for the consumer plus GST paid by the consumer. GST paid by the consumer is equal to the output GST collected by dealer B. So therefore, the cost price is 63,000 plus 5670 plus 5670. So that totally amounts to rupees 74,340. So that is the total amount that the consumer pays for the article. Next question, the amount of tax under GST paid by dealer A to the central government. Whenever we are asking that what certain person has paid to the central government, you always need to think central government only receives the difference between the output tax and the input tax. So therefore, output CGST minus input CGST, because it is for central government. Had it been the state government, it would have been output SGST minus input SGST. So therefore, 4752 minus 4050, that is rupees 702 was paid by dealer A to central government. The same amount was paid by dealer A to the state government as well. Amount of tax under GST paid by dealer B to the central government. Therefore, output SGST minus input SGST. So that will become 5670 minus 4752. That is rupees 918. Dealer B paid rupees 918 to the central government. He also paid rupees 918 to the state government. So that would be the same amount. Amount of tax received by the central government. Logically speaking, I already know the total amount of tax is equal to the tax paid by the consumer. But that is not how the central government got it. The central government got it in parts. The central government first got the tax collected by the manufacturer, that is CGST collected by manufacturer. Then CGST paid by dealer A to the central government. Then CGST paid by dealer B to the central government. So the tax collected by manufacturer was for rupees 4050. Dealer A paid to the central government rupees 702. And dealer B paid to the central government rupees 918. So therefore, the total tax will be 5670. That was exactly equal to the amount that the consumer paid. But you are not allowed to write it directly. You have to show these steps. In fact, it would be best if you write these statements as well and not just skip them, so that you get better marks and the presentation is much better. So, the critical areas in a sum where most students lose their marks are, the first thing is if you miss out this whole statement. So, since the sales are intrastate, you have to write this statement. If you do not write this statement, definitely marks will be deducted. So, you have to show that CGST and SGST are now levied at 9%. Secondly, quite a few students do not write the heading like for dealer A, for dealer B. No problem there, you can skip it out. But if you are skipping it out, you have to write in every part cost price of the article for dealer A, input CGST for dealer A, input SGST for dealer A, selling price of the article for dealer A. So now you have to write so many times for dealer A. So it's always better to make it a heading. So since you have introduced it as a heading, now everything under it is for dealer A. So it's all okay. Quite a lot of students mistake input output CGST, SGST. Do not make that mistake. Also, you have to show both. You cannot just show one and say that the other is obviously equal. No, you have to show it. Also, you do not make a mistake in IGST and CGST, SGST. So do not confuse interstate sales with intrastate sales. This is intrastate and the other one will do, that will be interstates. Also, read the question properly. Quite a lot of students make the mistake of reading it incorrectly. They do not understand that the discount was given to dealer B, like 12% discount was given to dealer B, 25% discount was given to dealer A, and if you mismatch it, everything will become wrong. Another most common mistake is skipping out the unit. Quite a lot of students forget to write the unit, the symbol of rupees. So if you do not write rupees here, teacher is obviously going to circle it and cut some marks. And you cannot write RS. You have to use this symbol. A shopkeeper in Rajasthan buys an article at the printed price of rupees 40,000 from a wholesaler in Delhi. The shopkeeper sells the article to a consumer in Rajasthan at a profit of 25% on the basic cost price. If the rate of GST is 18%, find part 1, the price of the article inclusive of tax under GST at which the shopkeeper bought it. Part 2, the amount of tax under GST paid by the shopkeeper to government. Part 3, the amount of tax under GST received by the Delhi government. Part 4, the amount of tax under GST received by the central government. Part 5, the amount which the consumer pays for the article. So, let us understand the question properly. There is a dealer who is situated in Delhi. He has sold a good to a shopkeeper who is situated in Rajasthan. Clearly, this is a case of interstate. So, therefore, interstate sales. So, therefore, IGST will be levied. And the shopkeeper then sold the good to a consumer who lives in Rajasthan only. So, therefore, this sale will be intrastate sales and therefore CGST and SGST will be levied. So, you have to be very careful because both CGST and SGST are both levied in the same sum. CGST, SGST and IGST. So, therefore, first statement will write the shopkeeper in Rajasthan bought the article from the wholesaler in Delhi. So, therefore, the sale is interstate and IGST is 18%. Therefore, IGST at the rate of 18% is levied. Memorize this statement. Whenever there is a case of interstate sales, even if it is not mentioned directly interstate, they will give you two different states. So, you can judge it that it is interstate. So, the IGST will always be levied and this statement you have to write. Selling price for the wholesaler as given in the question is rupees 40,000. So, therefore, for shopkeeper, cost price will obviously be rupees 40,000. So, input IGST, since it's a case of interstate sales. So, therefore, IGST will be levied. So, input IGST will be 18% of 40,000. That is rupees 7,200. Now, since the shopkeeper now sold the goods to a consumer in Rajasthan only. So, therefore, now the shopkeeper in Rajasthan sold the article to consumer in Rajasthan. Therefore, the sales is intrastate and GST is 18%. Therefore, CGST at the rate of 9% and SGST at the rate of 9% is levied. So, therefore, CGST and SGST will be split. So, the GST will be split into two parts, CGST, SGST. That is 9%, 9%, total 18%. So, for shopkeeper, SP, as the question states, the shopkeeper sells the article to the consumer at a profit of rupees 25% on basic cost. So, therefore, 40,000 plus 25% of 40,000, that will be 40,000 plus 10,000, that is 50,000. The moment I get the selling price of the shopkeeper, I try to calculate output GST. Here, output CGST and output SGST, which will both be obviously equal, will be equal to 9% of 50,000. That is 4,500. And obviously, the cost price of the consumer is rupees 50,000. Again, reinstating the basic fact that whenever we write SPCP, it is always exclusive of tax. If you want to include tax, you will have to write selling price inclusive of tax. Since we have already calculated everything, now we just need to look at the subparts and answer the questions accordingly. So, the first question asks the price of the article inclusive of tax paid by the shopkeeper. So, how much did the shopkeeper pay including tax? So, he paid the cost price plus the tax. So, that is the cost price of the article for the shopkeeper plus GST paid by the shopkeeper. So, the article's cost price was 40,000 for the shopkeeper and he paid IGST at the rate of 7,200. So, therefore, total price that he paid including tax is 47,200. The next question asks amount of tax paid by the shopkeeper to the government. It is not mentioned which government, central, state, and if it is state, which government, Delhi or Rajasthan. But we will focus just on our logic. First, the sales was interstate. So, therefore, the shopkeeper paid IGST, that is 7,200, which will go directly to the central government. Next, the sale was intrastate. Therefore, the tax comes in two parts, that is CGST and IGST. Now, who is responsible for all these set-offs? Obviously, the governments themselves. The shopkeeper will say, you are all governments. be it state or central, you decide among yourself who is going to get what. I will just do my part. I will subtract, I have got all the output tax, I will just subtract my input tax and get the remaining part. Give the remaining part to someone. Now the question is, who is that someone? Does the remaining part goes to central or remaining part goes to Rajasthan government? Because obviously Delhi government has no role to play. So now, since IGST, that is the central government, receives 7,200 rupees and the shopkeeper received 4,500. So first he will set off this 4,500 from that 7,200. So first he will set off rupees 4,500 input IGST against 4,500 output CGST. So therefore remaining input IGST will be 2,700. That is 7,200 minus 4,500. So the remaining IGST, he will not tell that okay, I will settle the matter with central later. Now I will pay 4,500 to state. No, he will tell the governments to settle it from themselves. So therefore the governments has made the process easier and they have asked that you deduct the amount of the remaining tax that you should be getting the benefit of from the state government's part. So therefore from the state government he was supposed to pay 4,500, but now he will pay 4,500 minus 2,700. So therefore he receives 2,300. So therefore the government receives 2,300. Obviously this is not the central government because the central government 7,200 has all been exhausted. Only the state government, that is the government of Rajasthan, will receive 2,300. Even though the question does not ask for the name of the government, it is always best to write it so as to present it properly so that the teacher knows, yes, you know the concept. You could have always done the whole 4,500 plus 4,500 minus 7,200. But the books generally show this process. So it's better if you show the steps, it's no harm to you. Next, amount of tax received by the Delhi government. Obviously the Delhi government will receive no tax, zero. Because the dealer in Delhi receives 7,200 as IGST and the whole amount goes to central government. The Delhi government gets no share. So therefore the amount received by Delhi government is zero. Amount of tax received by central government. Central government could have received the tax in two ways. One is IGST and another is SGST. IGST was 7,200 and CGST was zero. Obviously CGST was all exhausted. So therefore 7,200 plus 0, that is rupees 7,200. Lastly, the amount which the consumer pays for the article. It is always assumed that the amount which the consumer pays for the article is inclusive of tax. So CP of the article for the consumer plus GST paid by the consumer. That is 50,000 plus 4,500 plus 4,500 as CGST and SGST. So therefore the total amount is 59,000 rupees. So that is the total amount that the consumer paid. I agree that the examples that we just solved were in no way representative examples for the boards. But you have to understand that there are a lot of variety in the chapter. So therefore I have covered all the variety of questions in these two examples. Obviously directly this type of example or this type of question is not expected in the boards since the maximum possible marks is 4 marks. And these questions obviously demand more than 4 marks. But since I have covered all the variety, so now when you do the sums in your book, you will feel easier because I have covered all the statements and variety that should have been covered. If you found the video helpful, please like the video and share it with your friends so that it can reach to the maximum number of people. If you are still having doubt with the concepts of the chapter or there are certain sums that you are not able to solve, please comment them below so that I can help you to solve them. You can support the channel by clicking the icon and subscribing to the channel. Also, do not forget to press the bell icon so that you never miss any of my updates.